Welcome to the podcast.
Redrick regularly meets with mothers to help them prioritize their busy lives.
So, one of the things that I found is that as a mom, we're no longer multitasking, we're megatasking.
Yeah.
Okay? And isn't that true? Whatever we do for ourselves is what we are giving to our family.
You know what time it is?
Always ready to work out. So I always bring with me my jump ropes as well as my resistance bands. Easy way to get your workout in any day, anytime.
I love the toolkit, Mia. How about dads? Can dads have one too?
Absolutely. Dads create the best toolkits. The deal is just be prepared for wherever you're going to be that day with your family to maximize the day. If you have ever said there are not enough hours in a day,
guys. I appreciate
love my next strategy called blending. Blending is when you are doing something for your children, looking for opportunities to do something for yourself. You guys, tell me, how are you already blending in your life? How are you taking care of yourself while you're taking care of your children?
I have a best girlfriend who's a trainer who created a way in which we literally work out in her garage while our kids play outside. So we're getting me time, we're getting mommy time, and our kids are just having a good time.
We've had over 283 self-care groups, and I think the power of the groups has been that moms have no judgment, just camaraderie. You have an opportunity to connect with other women in your demographics of motherhood. And I firmly believe that moms aren't necessarily looking to balance their work and their life. I think what we want more of is joy. Creating opportunities to experience joy on a daily basis in your life is the goal. The next time you and your family need a getaway, try a staycation. What I mean by that is explore in your hometown, play a tour.
Hey, Anitra, welcome to the Scope.
Exactly what your family needs to refuel and reconnect, even in the middle of your busy lives. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy.
Now, when most people think of dating, they think of being single, going out in the town, but when you're married with kids, that's when the real dating fun should begin.
It sure is. Well, our mom strategist explains why and shares her rules of family dating.
This is something you've probably not thought about, but it's worked really great for me, and it is dating your family. Because you have 6 children, one of the things that works terrific is to be able to date at home. And what I get a lot of my clients to do is create a dating box.
People to coach,
in that box,
things to do,
and your husband can put
contracts to sign,
to enjoy together. Because sometimes we have opportunities to date our partners, but we don't have a whole lot of time. It might be you have 90 minutes, but by the time he has to go and get the movie or get a meal, the time that you would have spent together is gone.
We're going to get started in 30 seconds, guys. Invite your friends.
Wow. Well, welcome the author of Time for Mommy, 365 Daily Strategies for Mother's Self-Care, Mia Redrick. Mia, thank you so much. Stand up, please. Pleasure. I really feel for this family. You did help them with some tips, but what can we all take away from this?
Well, Dear Time is such a simple way to build quality in your family time and to make
help moms cope.
a reality every single day. It's simple.
So drop everything and read.
Drop everything and read. It will allow the kids to see mom and dad having some downtime, and it becomes part of the family culture, self-care.
So what about the fact that she has no time for herself? She sits in her car and listens to the radio and lies to her husband
Show
about
love,
where
give some
she
hearts,
is,
guys.
just so she can have a moment to breathe.
So what we talked about was them giving one another permission without guilt and supporting that time and understanding you need that when you have 2 young children. Mm-hmm. They're a couple that wants to be together. They don't want to be apart. And so you could see that when they started to date, just to dance together, they reconnected immediately.
I saw you covering your ears when that was happening. Why?
It's emotional.
Yes, it is. Because I love my husband.
Sharing, Anitra.
We all forget why we got married.
That's my family there, guys. All right, let me flip the screen and get started. I'm getting better with the switch, right? I'm getting better with the switch. All right. Hey there, it's Mia here, the Mom Strategist. How are you guys doing today? This looks a little fuzzy to me. Does it look fuzzy to you guys? Let me see what I can do. It does. Okay, so let me figure out what I need to do. What do I need to do? I need to wipe off my camera maybe, right? Let me try. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Better! Wipe, yes. Okay. Hey there. It's Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist, and I support moms with life and business success. And I am so excited to be here today. And you know what? Camille's totally going to get me because I don't have my glasses. So, but I can see right now. Okay. It is Friday, and I'm excited about the plans this weekend. Anybody have any big plans this weekend? I have a date with my husband tonight, so I'm excited about that. We're going to go to our favorite Greek restaurant. We've got this little Greek tapas restaurant that we like in Harbor East, and yeah, it is nice, and that's kind of our spot. We go there a lot, and so I'm kind of a creature of habit, so if it's something that works, then we just go all the time. Are you guys like that? What are you guys doing this weekend? The opening of the Nutcracker. And your daughter's performing? Is your daughter performing? For the Dancing Queen. Oh, wonderful. Isn't that cool? Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. So I know you're going to take video. I can't wait to see it. Anitra, this is wonderful. So Anitra Allen is the mom on the move, and she is phenomenal. As you guys know, I talk about her a lot. She has 2 amazing daughters that do everything, right? When we say it's a professional production, no doubt. No videos allowed. Okay, I got it. All right, so, it's totally cool. You have to tell us about how things go. I know it's going to be beautiful. And so maybe we get to see some still shots at the end. Isn't it wonderful to introduce your kids and allow your kids to do all kinds of great things? Anitra! Hey, and I didn't even plan it. I always keep my clients' work close to me. This is Anitra's daughter. Look, guys, check this out. Is this cool or what? Look at those biceps. All right. She is the mom on the move. And yes, her daughter is on the cover of this magazine. How about that? But they've been written up all over the place. About 31 different media outlets in the last, 2.5, 3 months. It's unbelievable what's possible. So today I wanted to talk to you about this. We're moms, right? And we run businesses, and sometimes it's difficult to try to figure out how you're going to run a business. Yeah, how are you going to run a business and run your household? Anybody want to talk about that? So, it's not something that I talk a lot about, or I've talked a lot about on the scope, but it is something that is very important to talk about because we've got households to run. That's why we can't ignore the fact that you're a mom in business, right? Because, are you kidding? Okay. The household shuts down. Forget the business, all right? So I thought that this was important because when I first got started in business, I did not have a clue about how to balance sort of my household and running my business. I didn't understand. It was like all mixed in together, right? Like, so work hours were mixed in with play hours with my kids. And what I learned was that if I really wanted to be happy doing the things that I loved, which was, the business I started, hey Anitra, doing the business that I started and loving the family that I have, that I couldn't commingle those things. And so I'm going to share with you today some things that I do to kind of keep it all separate and to manage my household and to manage my business. And my only goal is to support you, maybe to give you some insights about things that you haven't thought about before that might support you every day, right? So, one of the things, if you are part of my coaching space, you know that I'm one of these really funky technology people, right? Funky in the sense that I keep it all separate. I learned a while ago, I used to have, when smartphones first came out, and I was so excited about the smartphone and the fact that I could actually put my work emails and my personal emails on my phone and check all day, right? And then in addition to that would be Facebook and Twitter and all these other things. And what I realized was that I was doing everything, but I wasn't focused on anything specifically. Hey there, good to see you, okay? I wasn't focused on anything specifically. So I made the decision that when I'm with my clients completely need to have my absolute attention. And when I'm with my family needs to have me fully present for them as well. And as a result of that, I took off of my phone my business emails. So if you are my client, you know that for the most part, if you're emailing me, Okay, I'm not going to see it unless I'm working. And when I'm working, I have clear office hours. And so one of the things that I'm going to say to you, if when you're trying to manage, your life and your business, right? You're trying to figure out how to do it. It's really to create boundaries between the two. Because if you don't, you find yourself, even if you don't want to, reading emails, business emails with your kids, right? When they're talking to you about something that's important. But if you can't see it, you can't respond to it, you can't be distracted by it. Does that make sense? Okay. And I have to say that, that has single-handedly allowed me, one, I think to show up better as a coach when I'm with my clients. My clients want me to read, if you want me to read your book, you want me to actually read that book. You don't want me to skim the book and then talk to my son and skim the book. So I don't do business when I'm doing family things, and I don't do family things when I'm doing business. Does that make sense? Okay, let me know if this resonates with you guys or not, and so that I'm not going to be talking, to myself, right? But this totally works for me, and what it did was it reduced overwhelm for me as well. I have to say thank you for the hearts, because I found myself like at the gym working out, and then I'd see this email for work, right? And then I immediately, instead of me focusing on what I was doing in that moment, which was working out, which was good for me, I then had this false sense of urgency. Yeah, a false sense of urgency, like, oh, I need to leave the gym quicker so I can go do this thing for a client, when in reality the client would have been there when I got back home, if that made sense. So it's allowed me to take better care of myself, of my life, and to not have any competing priorities that are like false sense of urgency just because I can see it. So if you find that being present in the moment is key, it's totally key. And if you find that you're struggling with that, it's likely because you just got too much information coming at you. And this is one of the ways that I balance technology, and I just keep myself focused on whatever it is that I need to be doing in this moment, right? I'm in my office, I'm working. I'm not in my office, I'm with my kids, my family, we're putting up the Christmas tree. I'm not checking client emails. Are you kidding? This is like insane, right? So that's the first thing that I did. The second thing that I did that really changed things for me was change how I use technology. Now, if you're my client, trying to fix a little hair, right? If you're my client, then what you know is that the way I use Facebook is I actually hide all the profiles of everybody except my clients, because I'm a coach, right? Most of my clients are on Facebook and I get to see what they're up to. And what I found was that it was like, again, all of this information coming toward me, and I was looking at it and digesting it, but it was taking time. So if you find that for yourself that, there are not enough hours in a day, which is true for all of us, then what I'm going to suggest is that you consider that for yourself. Now, for some of you, you might be like, whoa, that's a little radical, Mia. But for me, it's allowed me to be more productive. It has allowed me to see what my clients are up to, like really what they're up to. And I can respond thoughtfully, and I don't have like the noise because it's like baby pictures and wedding anniversaries or whatever is going on. But when I choose to, I can click and visit my friends' pages. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm still friends. Yes, it is an awesome strategy. It works really well. It prevents you from being distracted. It keeps you from being on social media all day long. And I use social media a great deal for my business. And at the end of the day, my goal is to support my clients. When I'm working, I'm working. Okay, when I'm working, I'm not reading quotes. Okay, I'm working. So I use it as a tool so that I can see what my clients are doing, and everything else I'm not doing that until, I have free time and I'm kicking around, and then I have to consciously choose to go to places that I want to be. And if you find that you're like on information overload, it's like, try this. The other thing I found with social media, because, we were talking the other day, I was telling you guys about the importance of being a thought leader and being innovative, is that sometimes with social media, so you see so much of what people are doing that it can stifle your creativity. All right. And so because I feel like I'm a thought leader and I want to broker new ideas, right? That's what I like to do. I don't really want to see what everybody's up to all day long like that. I'm really trying to build my own ideas, right? Work on my own creativity and be original, because I believe personally that being original is what makes you valuable. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I studied economics in college. I actually applied to several graduate programs and was accepted for a PhD in economics. And so it's a science that I like a great deal. And if you ever want to be valuable, okay, You want to be scarce. And that means you don't want to show up like everybody else. You want to show up like everybody else. That means you don't need to see what everybody else is doing. And that is sometimes the downside of like social media and how it can rob you of your time and your creativity. You guys feel me on this? Okay? It can rob you of that because you're just seeing what everybody else is doing. You're like, oh, that's what I need to do. No, you need to do you. You need to do you. And get your time back so that when you're sitting down and being creative and focusing on your dream, you're focusing on your dream, not the dream of somebody else that you just saw, right? You ever want to show up powerfully, doing what you're doing, show up as you. Okay, that's the most powerful position you can ever have, is being you yourself, right? I kind of said that kind of funny. Being yourself, all right? So that's just so important, and I can't emphasize it enough. Now, I am Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist, and I support moms with life and business success. Now, what I'd love for you to do is, if you like the scope today, if you don't mind sharing some hearts, because I know you guys like to write when I'm talking, right, which I love, okay, when I'm teaching, but I also would love some hearts. And then also, if the scope supports you in any way, invite your followers. You started comparing. You start comparing, you get discouraged. Exactly. You know, I don't have my glasses on today. All right, what's up with that? So you start to compare and you get discouraged when the thing you're comparing yourself to anyway is not your purpose. Therefore, you need to cut it off so that it does not discourage you. My sister's in the house, Nicole. Hey. So, you know, you just want to make sure that that you're focused on the things that are most important, and it'll allow you to manage your time a lot better. So I just don't get into any of that. I don't know what anyone's events are. I don't know what they're doing for their events. I don't know what you're doing for your coaching program. I just know I'm playing to my strengths. Hey, good to see you. And hey. So, you know, I'm just going to play to my strengths always. And I want you to play to your strengths always, because that's when you're going to get the best product from your work. Thank you so much for joining the scope today. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the Mom Strategist. And I'm sharing how, you know, how do you strike a balance between running your business and then managing your time, your household. And so far, the first tip I've shared is just around social media. And I thought this is a really great place to start, because a lot of us are on social media throughout the day, like this, right? This platform. But we stay on these platforms, and as a result, we don't get done the things that we need to get done in our business. So, like, for example, one of the ways I like to manage my time using social media, right? Because I gave you 2 examples of how I disable social media so that I can have more time. But another thing that I like to do is to use a platform like this to be able to create content. Hey. So you know who that is. Oh, he scared me. Okay, my dog. My husband's coming in the house. And typically, he doesn't bark if you come through the back door. So if you ever want to rob my family, you know, just come through the back door, because he doesn't bark typically, usually only if you come through the front door like the mail lady. All right. So anyway, so I want to get back to that. Hey, Pat, good to see you. So you need a periodic t-shirt. I need a periodic t-shirt. I never even heard of a periodic t-shirt. Do you have a periodic? I've never heard of it. Okay, but get one, okay? Because you're addicted to Periscope. But one of the ways that I like to use technology for time management purposes is I like to do a Periscope like this and then repurpose the content, right, for my community and build product. Hey there, good to see you. How are you? And use the product over and over again. You were talking about being on Periscope. Yes, that's right. And so I like to use this type of platform to create product, which is what I'm doing right now, and repurpose it. This is a good use of my time. That means that I'm using social media to create content. And if I'm using social media to create content, then I am doing double duty. I'm building relationship, right? I'm doing an event right now from the comfort of my home, which you know I love. Okay, I'm totally into that. And I'm creating content at the exact same time. Happy Friday, Camille. Good to see you. So it's important, if you're going to use technology, to look at ways that you can really make it work for you and your business and your brand. And you like this necklace? Isn't this cool? So I thought I should have made it a little shorter today. Maybe tonight when we go out, I will do that. Thank you so much. I like it too. And it's easy, you know. So show some love. Give some taps. So my scopes, typically, people will listen to the scopes and write like 4 pages of notes, and then we have like 2 hearts. Thank you. It's beautiful. But we got to have more hearts than that, right? So in any event, so if you're struggling in that way in terms of managing your time, you need to look at ways that you can utilize platforms that you're already on, like social media, right? And say, how can I create content? How can this get me closer to where I want to be? Here's another example, Facebook. One of my books, 365 Daily Strategies, one of the things that I did, it's like a tip-based book. I used to put the tips up one by one. Okay, and I could tell if people liked it or not, because people would write, they didn't know I was writing a book, and they would say, oh, I love this, or and they would comment, or they would leave a post, and that's how I knew what to include in the book or not, what tips. So to me, if I'm going to be on social media anyway, why not use it to create product? All right, so if you're not doing that, if you find yourself on social media and you're like, this is a waste of time, I need to tune off, find a way to create product using it. Test product. I mean, your target audience, your target market is right there, right? When else can you get everybody to read your book, right? If you ask your friends to read your book at one time, right, to review it, it's going to take them weeks to do it. If you just do it as a drip on Facebook, I mean, not the whole book, but if you do it as a drip, you'll know if you're going in the right direction with your target audience, because people will start to respond or not respond. And not responding tells you that you need to tweak the product, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Right. Is this supporting you guys? Okay. So if you are finding that you're having a hard time managing your household and managing your business, then I want you, as it relates to technology right now, I want you to look for ways when you're using technology to create product, right? And we talked before, if you guys have been following my scopes, you know how I feel about selling online, right? That's what I've always done, and having a digital content strategy. That's the way to go if you are a mom and you want to passively make money, right, from the comfort of your home. This is how I built my business over the last 13 years. My husband had dialysis, was on dialysis for 5 years. I could not travel, okay, from one engagement to the next. So I really focused in on how to do continuity programs, online marketing, selling digital content, my intellectual property, and, online, so that I could monetize my gifts. And I literally started coaching clients from the comfort of my home so that I could, reach a larger audience. So if you're struggling with, I can't get out of the house to be able to sell my products and services, I can relate to that. Build your business at home. Look at models that are totally compatible to you as a mom. Like, I would be in my pajamas at 9 o'clock at night, still am, 9 o'clock at night, golden time, right? And that's when I deliver most of my coaching services. And if any of my core mom coaching clients are online on right now, they will attest to that. Thank you so much for the hearts, because building your business doesn't have to be hard, right? It just needs to be true to who you are. All right. Don't do the thing that's difficult. Do the thing that's easy. And that's another tip that I have for you. I think sometimes we see the models of what other people are doing. Like, somebody might have built their business by being a speaker, and you're like, I want to be a speaker too. But you're like, I can't travel. My kids are young. Don't travel. Build your speaking business right here from your house. I speak all the time right here. This is my office. Okay. And I speak right here in this office. Okay. Let's mix up all the beautiful hearts. Okay, go. Thank you so much. Aren't you guys great? So I literally built my business right here in my office. I just did a keynote, you guys know, 2 weeks ago. Thank you. Beautiful colors. I did a keynote 2 weeks ago in Trinidad, right here on Skype. So you're only limited by your creativity. And just be clear, if you don't want to travel, then look for speaking opportunities to do speaking engagements from home or on Periscope, because they're there, okay? Building your business does not have to be hard. Just true to yourself. Absolutely. It needs to be true to who you are. And that was really important to me, because I had some unusual circumstances. I had young children. I knew I couldn't travel. Where are you with the yellow hearts? Laughing out loud. I don't know where the yellow hearts are. I'm not really sure. I don't know that I've ever seen any yellow hearts. And I'm not even sure that it's a question I'm to answer, or if it's a question for you guys to answer. All right. So, anywho, is this making sense, right? The way to use technology is, one, to either shut it off, or B, to engage your technology so that you're creating product. while you are doing what you're doing. While you're here, you're creating product, and it begins to make sense. So if I'm going to go on these platforms, I'm either coaching my clients or I'm creating product, right? Or I'm reinforcing. It's not for you, Mia. You know, you got to tell me. So I'm relatively new to Periscope. This is probably, well, I've done 45 scopes, but over the last like 30 days. So I'm pretty new to the platform, but I like it, and it's great. And it's a wonderful platform to be able to support clients and to make new friends. So I'm making a lot of new friends out here. All right, so we clear about technology and how to use technology, either A, to maximize your time on it, or to gain more time back, to be real clear about how to use it. All right, so another way that I like to sort of manage my household and my business is one, with my kids to have clear office hours. So you know how, like, I don't know if your kids are like my kids. Mia, do you get dressed up every day? Now, I get dressed up for you guys every day. I do get dressed up if I have an appointment. I had 2 Skype meetings today, so for that, I like to look cute. For that, most of my meetings are like me and my computer, Skype, one-to-one coaching clients. So that's how I like to make my money, is right here like that. But do I wear lipstick every day? Like tomorrow, maybe. But if I have a date again with Pat, that'd be nice. Then I'll fix up or something like that. But you don't have to. But what I will say is that if you're going to use a platform like this and you're going to take these videos and put them on your website in a continuity program, put on lipstick, okay? Make them look nice, because you want to maximize your time shooting, because you're going to be repurposing the clips for something else. So if you already know the intention and how you're using it, then yeah, sure, put on a nice shirt, dress up, put on some jewelry, and look sassy, so that when people see the clip that you did, you don't have to shoot it again. Yes, lips are must. And you know what? Lips and liner. Okay, so you got to have liner and you got to do the lip thing. All right, but I keep it simple. Otherwise, I keep, light mascara. Do you offer phone consultations? I do. And so there are a couple of different options that you have in terms of being able to do a phone consultation with me. And actually, I have a promo in my Periscope. There's a bit.ly link for Periscope that typically to coach with me one-to-one is $1,000 an hour, and it's $1,000 an hour. But if you check me out on Periscope and you decide that you want to do the Moms Academy, which is a 3-month program, it's like $497. Shh, don't tell anybody. And I wondered, how long will it take for people to actually see that? So you actually can book a 1-hour consultation with me. And you could break it up. It could be like 20 minutes at a time, and you also get the Moms Academy, which is $97 a month for 3 months, and you get an accountability partner for that. So what I know is who's looking at my profile by who decided that was for them. So I tried to make that totally cool. You can go check out it's totally a steal. It's typically $1,000 an hour. I'm not saying it. If you book 5 hours with me, it's $2,400. You'll see it on my website, miaredrick.com. That's just what it is. All right. But I know the value of making new friends and connecting with people. I also know that if you don't know me, Mia's really cute today. See? So I don't have my glasses. You know what I think I did? I put them somewhere. And I'm not really sure where I put them, so I can't really wear them. And I'm trying not to squint, so I'm doing pretty good today. I think because the lighting is good in here in my office, all right? So if you are thinking about coaching with me, check it out, themomsacademy.com. You can go to that link. You'll see that at the bottom of the page, let me see, it's a Moms Academy VIP. It's a pretty cool program. At the bottom of the page, you get a 1-to-1 private coaching session with me at 60 minutes, plus 3 months of the Moms Academy, and it's $497. So the Moms Academy alone is $97 a month. All right, so you're saving $700 like that. All right, finding your glasses is the hardest thing. It is when you can't see, right? And how about I have contacts in right now? So I hope that you guys will take advantage of it. The Moms Academy is literally a daily drip of self-care strategies to do something for yourself every day. And you also get a 1-hour call with me in a group setting each month. So it's a pretty cool program. At least we know it's not on your head, right? It's not in my hair. No, nope, not at all. I got my hair cut, like a week or so ago, and I like it. She put a lot of really cool layers in I like it. It's nice and easy too. It's like good workout hair. So anyway, so did I answer your question? I just want to make sure I answer your question. So if you ever want to combine your business and your household and figure out the best ways to be able to merge the two so you have less stress, have clear office hours, all right? So with your kids totally need to know when mommy's working and when mommy's not working. Because if your kids are like my kids, if they don't know, then they will just, when you're working, they will just be talking to you, all right? Especially if you work from home, and a lot of moms do work from home. So I have clear office hours so my kids know when mommy's free and they know when mommy's not free. And it's so cool now. When, my coaching calls at 9 o'clock at night, so my kids all know, like, they'll even ask me, Mom, do you have a coaching call tonight? And so what you're trying to do as a mom is build a community, a culture within your family where we all know what everybody's got going on, right? Because we're doing it consistently enough, and I'm on the calendar just like they're on the calendar, so we can all support one another. Does that make sense? And sometimes for moms, we keep our business or the things we want to do as an afterthought. So our kids never know what we're trying to do. So when your kids keep coming in and interrupting you and you're trying to do business, it's just because you're not being consistent enough with your hours that they don't know. Like, you can even try hand signals. Order is so important. Order is important. And communicating with your family what they can expect. It's new for them. They're not, they're used to you being mom or a wife. They're not used to, your husband's going to ask you for the salt and pepper unless he knows that don't ask right now. If you need the salt and the pepper when I'm on my coaching calls, don't ask until I get off at 10:15. But he just needs to know between 9 o'clock and 10:15, don't ask me about salt and pepper. Before then, I'm available. Okay, my 4-year-old begs and I give in, right? Well, one of the things that I like to do is I like to reward my kids for understanding, right? And then when they also need time for themselves, they're playing and things like that, I like to mirror for them and say to them, so you know how like you need 10 minutes to work with your Lego project right now? That's like when mommy's working and she says she needs 10 minutes. It's the same thing. So kids can understand it when you make it relevant to them. It's an exercise I call mirroring. Mirroring can even be when I need to read something. I might say, Mommy needs to read for 5 minutes. And then, so I'm going to read my book for 5 minutes and I need you to read your book for 5 minutes. And when they're little, they'll come back. But eventually 5 minutes becomes 10 minutes and 10 minutes becomes 20 minutes. And you build a culture within your family of self-care, right? So it's so cool. And I always say now that my kids are older, 10, 14, and 17, and they're amazing readers. It probably came from doing these mirroring exercises, right? Or, right, saying, Mommy needs to read for 5 minutes. Mommy needs to read for 10 minutes. And now they're great readers, so they read all the time. And, as your kids get older, they'll just be used to it. And I love the fact that I've been able to build this business with my kids so they had the opportunity to see Mommy grow in her own business and be a part of that. So one of the ways that I like to combine it is I definitely like to have office hours so everybody knows, my husband knows, my kids know when mommy's working. And I do this every week so everybody knows every week what's going to happen. And now my office is on the first floor right off the dining room, so it's near the kitchen. And so I want to speak to you guys if you have an office in a place that's like a high traffic area. Now, I like it. I tried to have an office upstairs in the attic, and my husband, I was like, I need an office. And he was like, okay. So we chose space up there in the attic, and he went up there and he was like, ruh, ruh, watch me. I'm the guy. I will get this for you done. He painted, he did everything. He sanded the floors. And when he was done, I was like, it's too dark up here. I can't be in the attic. I need light. So then he was like, I love you. Okay, you're confused. And I ended up with an office downstairs on the main floor, which is by the kitchen. And one of the things that I had to do right away was make sure I was clear about office hours and what I was doing so the ice maker wouldn't be going, people wouldn't be ringing the microwave, you know what I mean? Those kind of things that happen when you're in a high traffic area. And you just need to let your family know what's going on, right? Any questions for me? Is this resonating with you guys? I'll wait. And maybe I'll do like my Jeopardy music, right? Is this resonating with you guys? Is somebody going to say something? Well, okay. Maybe the hearts is a sign. It was silence, but hearts. Thank you. Okay. All right. So that's one of the things that I've done over the years, technology and making sure I have clear office hours. The other thing that I've always done is make sure that for me, in terms of time management, I only choose work that I really want to do. Now, this sounds really wacky, right? And it sounds obvious, but we don't do that. We usually, when we get started in business, we chase money. Like anyone that will say yes to what we have, we say, you want to work with me? Oh, okay. No. Okay. I found that and I've done it over the years. I found that that's one of the easiest ways to rob yourself of time, peace, and joy. All right. So the way that I like to manage my time is by really choosing my ideal clients and working with my ideal clients. And what I've learned about that is that for me, it meant that I needed to charge what I was worth. Okay. Hear me? I needed to charge what I was worth, and you need to charge what you are worth, because if you don't charge what you're worth, then you're going to attract a client that's not your ideal client, and ideal clients rob you of your time. Am I preaching? All right, that's good, okay? If you don't charge what you're worth, then you end up working harder than you would if you are charging what you are worth. And while it sounds like, how can I charge what I'm worth when I'm new in this business? That's what I struggled with, right? I was like, I had a background as a corporate trainer for a Fortune 100 company. All right. So I was sharp. I'm an educated woman. However, I was really struggling with the fact that I was in this new coaching business, and I was new to coaching, and how could I possibly charge, a lot of money? And I remember, when I first got started, I was charging $75 an hour. And my coach said to me, she was like, what's your goal? How much money are you trying to make? And I was like, well, I'd like to make six figures. $100,000 would be great. And I just pulled a number out of the sky. And she was like, you're going to be on the phone all day. You're going to be on the phone all day. She was like, at a minimum, you need to double your fees. And I was like, double my fees? Oh, are you kidding? And it was so much easier to attract. I'm trying to sound on my computer. It was so much easier to attract a client at a higher price point than a lower price point. Your clients, people who don't want to pay you for your services, are almost always going to be a headache. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, it's the truth. So anyone that doesn't want to pay you for your services is always going to be a headache. I don't care what kind of customer it is. You guys know that I also own a commercial laundry, a mid-sized commercial laundry, and which is not a small business. You have got to have people who can afford your services, or you will be chasing money. So one of the ways that you want to get your time back, manage your household, is work only with your ideal clients. I learned that the hard way. You are all the way right. I am all the way right. And you will find that you will feel better about your products, and you'll be able to stay in business. All right. So a lot of times those bottom line, those bargain basement clients are the clients that really, they aren't investors. They don't value the services. You're not getting the client that maybe will fully utilize and benefit from what you're offering. And one of the ways that I got my time back was I increased my fees, and I started working with people who were my ambition level, right? Like sharp, smart women who believe in self-investment, who I'm a coach, right? Like anything I'm going to ask you to do, I might say, hey, what about going to the gym, right? You might have to take a speaking class. You might have to invest in Toastmasters. Or I work with women who invest, not women who are like, oh, I'm not taking a class. Are you kidding me? Like, no, wrong client. So, once I understood that piece, it changed my entire business. And it'll change your entire business too. And I got my time back, because difficult clients take up time, and not just time. They take up like mental space, right? One, you got to go find them. You got to go chase them down for money. That just is ridiculous. And then two, the energy that they just bring a different level of energy. So if you find yourself struggling with your business and trying to, that balance between the two, also I want you to check, your rates, your fees, make sure you're charging what you need to, so that when you're talking to your clients, you're working with the ideal clients. I have to say that really, right now, about 95% of my clients, and I mean, really, 95% of my clients, like, I just love them. Like, we could be girlfriends, really. I love my clients. I love the women I get to work with, and they're smart, they're sharp, they believe in self-investment, they pay on time, they do the work, they implement. All right, they aren't really complainers, and I want to say that to you because you can have that. And I didn't know that I could have that. And I didn't know that not having that robbed me of my time management, the time that I was spending with my kids. But you got in business so that you could afford life, right? Or with your family. Like maybe you're in business because you want to pay for private school, or you're in business because you want to pay for dates with your kids, or maybe you're supplementing a bill around home, or we're saving to buy a home, and you need clients to pay you. And if they're not doing that, then the time you're with your kids, you're thinking about the clients that didn't pay you. You still have the same issues, but now you got more issues because you got to provide services, and you also got to chase your clients, if that makes sense. And that was one of the things that I did right away in my business. It took me, right away, like a year and a half into my business, that really changed my business. I was at $75 an hour. I immediately went to $150. I should have been charging right out the gate at a minimum $300, given my background, my experience, and I struggled with it. But the moment that I did, I got a higher quality client. Just saying. All right. Did that support you guys? And I'm thinking that you guys also might have questions for me about, how the time management piece, like managing your time and managing your business. Because I'm talking about technology, and I'm talking about how to manage the kind of clients. But I found for me that was really important. And managing my household by having clear office hours. Those were the 3 significant things that I did to be able to take my time back. I will say that, I do have a routine for myself in my office, my own routine. And when I first got started in business, I couldn't put in a lot of hours. So I only put in like 4 to 6 hours a week. But they were focused hours. They weren't like 4 to 6 hours and I was flaky about what I was going to do. It was like 4 to 6 hours. My husband knew what my office hours were, and that's when I went to work. And actually, that was even before the early days where I had my office was even upstairs, or even here. It was when I would go to Panera Bread to work. Panera Bread was actually my office. Anybody else out there have a Panera Bread office? I did. I had a Panera Bread office, and I would go there with my laptop, and that's where I would do work and write my book and do creative things. And yes, okay, a lot of times we have to do that as a mom. But when I was working, I was working. I wasn't checking social media. I was focused on accomplishing a project each and every week. In general, in terms of how I like to manage my day is I like to do 3 simple things every day that'll move the needle in my business. All right. So I call them sending out ships. And I actually learned that from Angela Kim of Save It to Success. I'm talking about if you want something to come back in your business, you got to send things out. So I always focus on the number of 3 every day. Welcome to the scope. I'm Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist. And so I send something out every day that I know can come back to me. Does that make sense? Isn't it so easy? It's like none of it is hard, but it is hard if you don't do it systematically. So if you don't systematically create routines for yourself, then it's hard because you don't know what you're supposed to do the next day. You don't know what you're supposed to do for that week. But what I found for me, I only have 4 to 6 hours a week to grow my business. So I spent 4 to 6 hours a week focused on achieving a goal, working to get the book done, working to get the website done. And I have never been a person that said, like, let me do 100 things at one time. I have found that send something out like being productive, right? Send something out like a pitch for working with a brand, or sending something out like, a request to an article to be featured in a magazine or on a social media site. So you send something out that can work for you in your business, and then that can come back to you. It'll come back either as a yes or a no, but a lot of times we don't do the actions that matter in our business. So whenever I'm like, tanking down to that 4 to 6 hours, I'm really thinking about what I can do that's going to amp up and create some, something in my business that can really support me. Like right now, like I'm doing this Periscope with you guys, but like I told you, I'm actually creating content for my continuity site. Now, all the video clips that I've been doing for the last, month, not all of them are usable, but all of the ones that are, I'm using them as content for my site. All right. So I'm always thinking of how can I, do 2 things at one time to really maximize my time. And time compounding to me is important. I like to make my money that way. I like to create product that way. And it's a time saver for me as a mom, right? So why should I like leave this call and then go record something when I can just be on this call right here, provide great content, give it a title, put it in my community, and it'll support someone. Does that make sense? All right. And wear a little lipstick, right? We were talking about that earlier. So for those of you who've just joined me, I'm Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist, and I support moms with life and business success. And you can always check me out at miaredrick.com. I told everyone that in my profile today, there's a link that for the Moms Academy. If in fact you've ever wanted to work with me one-to-one, you can work with me one-to-one for a bonus. I usually charge $1,000 an hour for one-to-one coaching, and you can get 3 months in the Moms Academy, which is a daily drip of self-care activities that you can do for yourself. It's a challenge to get you to do something for yourself every day. You also get a 1-hour call with me each month, and you get a one-to-one call with me for $4.97. It's like unheard of. The only place you can see it is there on Periscope. So if you got, you just got to look around. You got to find out what's around and take advantage of it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not sure how many of those I'm going to do because I don't do typically one-to-one clients in bulk like that. Usually if someone books with me for one-to-one coaching, they book my package of 5, which you'll see at miaredrick.com, 5 for $2,400. So just saying. Okay. Are there any questions for me today? Are there any questions? Did this scope support you guys? Did this scope support you guys? Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. This scope blessed my life. Thank you. Yes. You know what? I have like the nicest people who come on the scopes. Like I definitely attract amazing people. Like everywhere. Like amazing people are everywhere, right? I'm glad that this supported you. And, at the end of the day, being a mom, we can't ignore the fact that you are a mom in business, right? We need systems in order for us to be able to manage our life and our business. And, you guys all know my story if you've been following me. But if you're new, let me just tell you, 13 years ago, I decided I wanted to go to work as myself. And I wanted to be a mom coach when mom coaching wasn't cool. Nobody knew what it was. You couldn't find it in a dictionary on Google. You couldn't find mom coach. Nobody knew what it was. And my first stop was to a small business resource center professional that helped me get started in business. And I was soon told that my idea did not make sense and that I should go back to work to corporate America and be a trainer. And I stumbled upon coaching. I met an amazing coach who was the second most profitable coach in the country at the time, according to ICF. And her name was Terry Levine. I started working with her. She was the only person I ever met that took off December, January, and February because she doesn't do winter and moved her business to another country. Okay. And I was like, if she could do that, she could teach me how to build a business and work from home. And that's what I wanted to do. And I've been a full-time entrepreneur, full-time, and my husband as well, for the last 10 years. And I tell you this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that whoever your teacher is, whatever they're telling you is what you're going to be doing. So if someone is teaching you and coaching you and telling you that, you're going to make your money passively and they're running from one speaking engagement to the next speaking engagement, guess how you're going to make your money only like that. I don't care what anybody tells you. Watch how your teachers are making their money. That's what I'm saying. And so what my clients know is that anything that I teach them, I also show them. So one of the things I've been very fortunate at over the years is getting partnerships with national corporate brands like Panera Bread Corporation. I've done 2 partnerships with them. Corner Bakery Cafe, Great Harvest Bread Company, Hyatt Regency, Marriott Corporation, and the list goes on. And I like to take my ideas, and put them into products like books and DVDs and CDs and online courses and sell them to people, one to many. So I'm totally into making my money like that. My husband was on dialysis many years ago. He had kidney failure. He was on dialysis for 5 years, and I could not travel to build my business. So I'm very passionate about, spreading this message for moms, because I know that the way that I've built my business would really support a lot of people who don't know how to build a business from their house. All right. And a lot of times you see people and they're like stars and all that kind of stuff. And you know that they've had success, but you don't know how it translates to you. And what I'm sharing with you is, my story of how, what I've been able to do over the years to build a multiple six-figure business from my house. And everything that I teach you, I've done. I've had the great fortune to be signed to a Emmy-nominated, nationally syndicated television show, which was America Now, of which what's cool about it, it's definitely cool to be able to shoot on, national television, no doubt about that. But what was really cool are the residuals that go along with it. So if you shoot a show right there, that's syndicated, it gets played even when you're not shooting, and you still continue to get paid. And if you've been following any of my scopes, or if not, you can catch me at catch.me, KATCH.me, and you'll learn a little bit about what I talk about as digital strategy, creating product, making money passively as a mom. That's what I'm into, and I'm on a mission to support more moms with that, because when my husband got his kidney transplant last year, one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that I never had to think for 1 minute about a job. He didn't have to think about it. We just could focus on him being well, all right, and what was most important. And I know that the reason that we really start a business is so that we can have lifestyle. And to me, part of lifestyle is freedom. If you're into that, you're going to love everything I scope about. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anyone new have any questions? Anyone here have any questions before I sign out today? So, I know that, I always try to, just give you my story each time, because sometimes we have new people, a lot of people come into the scopes, and you may not know my story. I'm Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist. I support moms with life and business success. I built most of my business from my home. And that's it. And I'm doing some pretty groovy stuff. In fact, I did travel a lot in the last 30 days, but that was like an unusual month for me of the year, because I had my retreat that I do for moms in November. That was that first weekend in November. That following weekend, my coach was doing a training, and I had to go there because she is like, the way she sells is just amazing, and it just blows my mind. I've never seen anybody sell like that ever in my life. And then I went to LA last week to interview for my own show. And so that was cool. So normally I'm around a lot more than I have been. So any questions for me? Did I leave off anything? You guys have been on the scope? Anything that I didn't share? Right? So, and I have 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So elementary, middle, and high school. And my daughter needs her own set of parents, because she's so busy. She really needs her own set of parents. I mean, her own set of parents would totally work for her. And then, you know what I'm saying? Because she's got a lot going on right now. She's got 7 activities right now for the holiday season. Concerts. I'm new from South Carolina. Thank you. You've been great. So I'm so glad you've been great, and I appreciate it. I hope you come back. Make sure you check me out on Twitter, Mia Redrick, and also you can friend me on Facebook on my profile. So Mia, M-I-A, Redrick, R-E-D-R-I-C-K, and you'll always see some really cool goodies that are there. And I always say, if whatever I'm telling you is real, you should be able to see it, right? So whatever somebody's telling you, you should be able to see it in real time. And if you can't see it, then it's not real. Okay, it's an illusion. All right, so with that, I am done. If there are not any other questions, last call for questions. Any questions? I'm Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist, and I support moms of life and business success. If there are not any other questions, then guys, I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye. Have a great weekend. I'll probably scope later, but have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.